And now it's time for the Doc and Pimpy Show with your host, Doc, and the man who should be committed, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Welcome back to the Doc and Pimpy Show. I'm Pimpy, and that man over there is Doc.
Doc.
So, Doc, let's pick up on some of these subjects that we left off of the last time we did our show. Let's talk about Kyle Rittenhouse has been acquitted of all charges. And there's a lot of people out there with mixed feelings about this. And then you got some people just downright idiots. So we'll cover them last. But it was my opinion that this kid, he went to do something. Well, let me reword this. Our Constitution says this: our elected officials have the obligation to, offer security and safety to the people. That's their job. And they failed to do that. So Rittenhouse, a 17-year-old kid, felt it was necessary for him to go take his gun and do what the government was supposed to do, which is protect the people. So I was surprised when I had a chance to interview Sheriff Mack to hear him say that, he didn't like the fact that the kid did go there with the gun, but it was my opinion that he was doing exercise his constitutional rights. Since the government wouldn't provide security for the people like they're obligated to do, when is it that the citizens say enough is enough and then they start taking matters into their own hand, in your opinion?
Yeah, no, I think I said this to you once before. Is Sheriff Mack is probably correct that the young man, if he hadn't have shown up, none of this would have happened. And really, it's not his job. But if he didn't stand up, the fact that the police stood down,
yes, that
the protection and the safety of the situation was completely ignored, that they allowed this riot to occur. You have a 17-year-old that stood in the place of the police. He stood up. And there's a saying, a very well-known cliche, that if good men don't stand up, bad things happen.
Yeah.
Well, here it took a 17-year-old that came to protect a store, that came to help out, and then was put in a horrible situation. But self-defense, it did come out correctly.
I think so.
It was self-defense. But we have to look at it on both sides. Sheriff Mack's correct if he hadn't shown up, but then what would have happened?
Well, I think that's my question again to you is this: they're obligated by the Constitution to provide security and safety to the citizens, our elected officials. When they refuse to do so and tell the police to stand down and allow this type of destruction, mayhem, people were killed. If our own government isn't providing the protection we need, when do we say, you know what, since you're not going to do it, the Constitution says we have the right to do it. So where do we draw that line? Should Kyle have been there? Nah, probably not. But he, in my opinion, was exercising his constitutional right. When your own government won't provide the safety necessary, I don't want to hear this crap about, they're peaceful protesters. We know it's bullshit, right? We know this.
Well, yeah, there's nothing peaceful about it. And they knew that. That's the other side of it. They knew it. Let me talk about the good side of the police department. They actually head towards trouble. We're both military based. We both are veterans in a major respect. We knew that we were given a job that we had to walk towards trouble, not walk away. The one that walked away, there's actually words for that. Deserter, I think, is the big one. The government deserted them. And that's not like, there was, I'm sure, a whole lot of stand-up police officers and safety patrol officers and highway patrol and that were just going, we need to be there. And we're actually, their leaders had them stand down. So we stood in the place. And that's where Kyle, Rittenhouse, he actually stepped into that place.
Well, you bring up an interesting thing. We're in the military. What happens when we're given an order that we feel is either unlawful or dangerous? We have the right to
refuse.
So if the police officer's job is to keep the peace and your superior is saying, don't stand down, when do you say, no, we need to be more active and involved? Should they have been more active? Should they say to their superior, no, you know this is wrong. We need to be more involved. This is our community.
And isn't that what Sheriff Mack is helping police departments and sheriff's departments to know that they have the right to refuse unlawful orders? So if it's unconstitutional, they're not supposed to walk away from it. So I agree. I think that, I hope, here's what I hope, because I know this happened somewhat in Seattle, and we know this happened in Portland, Oregon, that there were off-duty police that went ahead and went to these places and were there to help. We know that happened. I hope that happened in Kenosha. I hope that there were off-duty police in that situation that were at least trying to protect something or somebody. If they weren't, and they risk their job when they do that, you know, because if the elected official can fire them for disobeying orders, they probably were risking their job. But I want to believe that we still have people that put on the uniform every day, and even when the uniform's not on, they're in uniform. They're protecting and serving.
Yes. Yeah, so. Hey, look, I want to talk about this Amber Lawley product again, because it's now been, a lot of time has passed by since George sent it over as a gift. And I do want to talk about this again because people that's been on my channel know I talk about HempWorx, which is a product that's similar to this. And so, you know, I try not to overwhelm people with products, but whenever something good comes along, I do want to talk about this. And this product I do want to talk about. You and I tested it, and then we spoke about it in a video in which, you know, again, I don't like greasy crap on my hands, and we want something that's a little more fast acting. It's been a while now. Have you been trying the product?
Yep, I've been using it in, of my advanced age. There are a few things that happen that I think just becomes with age. But one of them is I wake up in the morning and my hands and knuckles and you know, the joints hurt a bit. So I've just been rubbing it on my hands, and it actually relieves the pain in my hand. In fact, I used it this morning, and I haven't used it, and it lasts for a long time. So
my neck, I had a kink in my neck from hell. I don't know what it is with our pillows. Obviously I need to change pillows, but it's not sitting right. And the pain it gets to the point where you get headaches. So I just grabbed the cream and I rubbed that crap on the back of my neck. You know what I mean? Yeah. Crap on the back of my neck. Okay. And I was like, okay, because I was confident it would work. After a while, you don't even realize that the pain is gone. You're just going, and how we are several hours later, and there's no pain.
Yeah, I think that's it too, is the fact that you don't really realize it's not greasy. You've had an effect that you don't even realize happened. And just now, as you started talking about it, going, oh, that's right, it's still gone.
Yeah,
still gone.
A long time. Yeah. So here's what I want to do. I do want to reach out to George. I know they sent this over as a gift to us, but I'm interested in offering this to my subscribers because I think they can really benefit from it. So we'll reach out to George, see if Amber Lawley wants to come aboard. And let our subscribers know about this. I like it a lot. Okay, and here's the thing about me. I don't want stuff on my show. I get offered all the time. People want to come on, they want to be sponsors, they want to be this. My thing is, if I don't use your product, or you're not here in the United States, or I don't know anything about you, I'm not interested. You know, I could sell out everything and make a ton of money, but no, you know, my subscribers to me are very important. I always tell them, look, we're on the same boat, trying to oar to the same destination. We just got to make sure we're all oaring in the right direction. But this product here, absolutely, I'm going to endorse this. I like it a lot, and so I want my subscribers to know about this. So here's something that I'm noticing about all this. There's no doubt we're in a silent civil war, I guess is a good way to put it. We're being attacked. There's people on the left are attacking the people on the right. And this is what I'm talking about. Kyle Rittenhouse uses his constitutional rights to do what he did. And then you look at, we talked about the Texas shooting last time, that kid, and we'll get back into that again because it goes back to all these media idiots right now. You see these companies, they don't care if they get sued anymore. They don't care if people boycott their products. Right now they're being subsidized by either our government or China, who's pushing this cultural revolution. So they don't care. And I'll give you a quick example of what I'm talking about. This kid, or this NBA player in the Boston Celtics speaking out against China in a big way. Boston Celtics bent their ass backwards to get this player. And ever since he's been speaking out, they've had him on the bench. And both Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and the NBA is telling him to shut up, and he refuses. He's telling them, you need to stand up. How can you speak about social justice issues in our country and be silent about what's happening to the Uyghurs over there? They're being harvested for the organs and nobody wants to talk about it. So he said, you guys are just sellouts. You know, you go wherever the money is. I was like, ooh, this guy's good. But it's nice to see that happening. I bring that up because I notice anytime somebody speaks out against the agenda, Kyle Rittenhouse was reached out by Nicholas Sandman. Remember him?
Right.
The kid that was standing in front of the Indian. And
that won a huge lawsuit.
Yeah.
Or a settlement. We can't say how big it was.
And there's still some pending. So you had the president of the United States call Kyle Rittenhouse a white supremacist with no evidence of that whatsoever. We had the media say that he was visiting on his phone white supremacist websites, and there's no evidence of that. So they don't even care if they get sued anymore. Somewhere along the lines, there's much more powerful people with deeper pockets saying, it doesn't matter, get sued, just keep pushing the agenda, we'll cover the cost at all costs, no matter what. This agenda is more important than you guys getting sued and losing your credibility. Because right now, the media has no credibility whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about Rittenhouse coming back and suing, the defamation, a lot of these defamation suits. We saw the young man sue and against CNN and actually get a settlement.
Yeah.
So we know it's possible, and I think you're right. I think that it's a profit loss thing. They're not losing any money if they get sued because somebody's picking it up.
Yeah.
But let's go back to the president of the United States, who defamed. Basically that was a defamation that said he was a white supremacist with no proof. When the verdict came out that he was found not guilty, the president said, basically made a statement that the verdict was correct and will stand with this verdict. And it was probably the correct statement for a leader to do. Mm-hmm. But minutes after that, evidently his handlers got a hold of him and he comes out with that statement that basically says that it was a terrible ruling. Basically he agreed with the left. He flip-flopped on it.
Well, his handlers, that's a good way to put it. His handlers.
Yeah, the people that are actually pulling the strings on this basically incompetent human being that we've put into that office. I shouldn't pick on him too much, I continue to pray for him. And as a leader...
Well, God don't like ugly, just keep that in mind.
There's something going on there that really surprised me. He flip-flopped on that. Because
no, it shouldn't be surprising.
A riot. They're inciting this next.
Well, this was going on under the Obama administration. Man, talk about one of the biggest race baiting presidents. I can't stand that guy for anything. I really can't. And people are, oh, you're racist. What? Or seriously, this is what I'm talking about. I don't care about his damn skin color. I'm talking about his stupid things he does and says. Has nothing to do with the color of his skin.
Deep state. And we went back to that.
But, yeah.
If we bring out another real quick piece to this, we haven't had a riot yet. Are we finally at the point that...
No, Portland has them right now.
Oh, then when did that start?
Last night. Not really riot. Well,
yeah, they're walking. They're walking.
Yeah.
And in New York, they're walking. Yeah. They're walking, but we haven't had the burning, the looting. We haven't had what's coming, what should be coming, that they are pushing. I mean, our leadership is pushing that. They're saying the media and Congress and... They're pushing this.
Could it be that people are finally waking up to the truth and are realizing
that's
they were
what I want to
duped?
believe. Okay,
yeah.
That's what I want to believe. That they're walking now. Yeah. They're not looting. They're not burning. They're making the noise.
Yeah.
But I think they know. I think the radical side of it finally realized that they're not winning this battle by having autonomous zones and looting and burning. It's just not working.
There's another group within this group that's really responsible for a lot of this, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. So look, if you like what you're hearing and you want to hear the full interview, come over to Pimpy's News Network and hear the full interview. So if you like what you see, come on over there. We know that if you subscribe to the channel, all proceeds go to finding life's purpose. So it's a donation, it's to a good cause. So I encourage you to do so.